Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to another morning breakthrough with Coco, helping you undo so God can do. Let us be thankful for another day, not promised, but indeed graciously granted. I am so happy that we have made it to Friday and we are on a 31-day journey where I am sharing with you 31 ways to be accelerated into purpose. We are on day 4, and this week has been about your spiritual growth. And we've talked about because we know the spirit man has to be in check and solid first before we can lay everything else. We have to set that foundation first. So, again, we've been talking about spiritual growth this week, and we started off talking about what it even means to. I shared about the name or where the name of my business came from, a sermon from Pastor John Gray. I talked about what it even means to accelerate into purpose. We talked about understanding purpose, and then we talked about how we move from faith to faith. In other words, how it takes one level of faith to say yes to God, another level of faith to accept what the call that God has put on your life, and then another level of faith to actually start walking in it. And this morning, I want to share with you the power of prayer and fasting, or fasting and praying. Because I have found that, especially, well, the early part of this year, and I want to share a story about that, but the power of fasting and praying is key to you being accelerated into purpose, because guess what? We don't always know what's next. And a lot of times, but God has the blueprint to our life. He already knows what's coming forth. He already knows what's going to happen. He knows what issues we're going to run into or what obstacles we're going to have to face. So it is only, it only makes sense to consult with God, to consult with our Creator, to consult with the one who has a blueprint for our life. But here's what I found. So I know that many of us have fasted and prayed more so on a corporate level, meaning with our church. The Daniel fast or whatever fast or 21-day fast, and we've done it, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm not eating this, or I'm only eating this point of time, or I'm doing intermittent fasting, or whatever the case may be. But have you ever done it for yourself? Um, Separate from what everybody else is doing, because here's what I found. In most cases, you're doing it as a group, but do you really have a sound reason, or uh, is it, how personal is it when you're doing it as a group, is what I guess I'm getting at. But here's what I want to share. So January, probably mid-January of this year, I was in a coaching program, and we were asked to do a 7-day fast. And it was a serious fast. And I've fasted before, somewhat half-heartedly, if I be honest, because me and food, we love each other too much sometimes. But um, we did a fast, a 7-day fast, 3 times a day to eat, 4:30 prayer call, and I think, and that was pretty much it. And then there was a 12 o'clock daily check-in. Um, at the end of that 7 days, but what we did different that I had never done before was, we made a list going in. What do I need clarity on? And so that's what I mean. So a lot of times, at least in my experiences, no one has ever said, okay, do you have a list? What do you want to, what is it that you need clarity on from God? So the next time you fast and pray, make sure you create a list. This is what, Lord, this is what I need answers about. This is what I'm puzzled about. This is what I'm confused about. This is what I don't understand. Lord, is this the way you want me to go? Is this who you want me to connect with? And we found that, in the book of Esther, how she prayed before making a crucial decision regarding her people. So you fast and pray. We don't have to wait for our church to say, let's fast. No, it's something that we should be doing personally on our own time as we see fit to do it. So you don't have to wait for somebody else to tell you to fast. So, and it's not always just necessarily fasting from food. It's fasting from those things that often takes the place of God. So it's like when these things, what is something that you can let go of that you are really tied to, but you could use that time spending with God. So say social media, and it may be food, especially during this time if you've been eating too much, and then you need to set yourself back on a certain eating schedule, or maybe it's watching TV. Maybe it's just being away from your phone for a day or something. So again, it is up to you how you do it. It's not I don't think there's really a set standard. It's all about you taking time out for God, but not just talking to him and not just asking for things, but also listening. So anyway, as I was saying, so I went into this particular fast, a 7-day fast, with the list, and I had questions about who I was connected to as far as partnering in business. I had questions about my next church, even relocation. I had questions about my business. So those were things I had questions about, and I wrote them down. And got to the end of that 7-day fast. This is when I had just started doing my morning encouragements, and actually I had switched to doing the 5 days a week. So it's like, okay, and you know how people always talk about consistency. And so here's the thing too, sometimes you have to step away from things that you're doing to give that time to God, to hear from him. And so I had to stop in the middle of a series. So I ended up stopping in the middle of the series to fast. So, and it was supposed to be a 7-day fast, and I announced that I'd be back in 7 days, but that 7-day fast actually turned into 14 days, because at the end of that 7 days, it's like, several of us, it was a group of us in this group coaching program, several of us felt the need to fast more. I fasted for another 7 days. Some people went to full 21 days. But in that, and I fasted for another 7 days too, because I hadn't really heard anything. And so it's like, okay, Lord, I don't feel like I've gotten the answers that I was seeking. So yeah, another 7 days is definitely needed. And in that next 7 days, God did reveal some things to me. And I mean, some things were very, very clear as far as my next, and as far as how to prepare for it. And so just, to kind of share briefly, one of the things he shared was, getting ready for my next, or my promised land, so to speak, to start sowing into. So one of the things that he asked me to do, or shared, or that he put in my spirit to do, was to increase my 401k contributions. So I did. I increased it to the max as much as I could. And obviously we know that the employer matches part of that. So, and I remember my HR person calling me, and she was like, okay, so I just want to make sure this is going to go up to like probably 80 something, I think, I don't know, per pay period. And I was like, okay. So she made the switch or whatever, and I've been doing that, and I have not changed it. So obviously with COVID, guess what? The employer got to a position where they couldn't match us anymore. So it's now just my contributions that's going into it. Have I stopped it? No, I've continued with it. I don't know what's going to happen. I was not expecting COVID in January. None of us was. So, I had everything that's playing out. It's like, okay, increase your contributions, do your lease this way, and this is what, and prepare for your next. And now that COVID has hit, I don't know what's happening next, or how things are going to work out, or if things, but if God said do it, that's what I'm continuing to do in faith, because I trust him. So, but that fast, and that particular fast gave me clarity on what to do and how to do it. And I've stuck to that. Regardless, it's not about, If my employer can't match, that's fine. I can still do my part. God will match what I'm doing. Okay. So, and it's actually time for me to do another fast to make sure, like, okay, Lord, am I still on the right track with this? So, so it's actually time for me to do another serious one like that. But again, the power of fasting and praying. When you are facing a major decision, um, and I don't care if it has to do with a relationship, with a job, with your family, with your own personal growth, um, fast and pray. Make time, set aside in a day. It don't have to be 7 days. It don't even have to be 14, 21 days. Even just a day. But when you do so, just make sure you don't get up or that you don't come out of that fast until you've gotten your answer. So that's key. So that's key as far as putting how many number of days on the fast. Submit your request to him. Lord, I need clarification on this. And stay in that fast until you feel like you get your answer, until you get your answer. And it will be clear. I'm believing with you that you will come out of it knowing exactly what to do. Now, will he give you the answers to everything? No, but he gives you enough to get to the first step, and then he'll give you more. So that's one of the things that I found, even with myself, but we saw that in the Bible. Like sometimes he gave them answers and sometimes he didn't. Sometimes I think even with Moses, like he didn't always tell Moses what was coming up next. It was like, no, just do this and then I'll tell you the rest. Sometimes it's you making that first step. So that's how, so again, the power of fasting and praying, that is one of the ways to be accelerated into purpose. Going before God, seeking his instructions, seeking his knowledge and his wisdom and understanding to help you make the best decision possible for your life, but not just your life, also your family life, but also the people that you are called to serve. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to another Morning Breakthrough with Coco, helping you undo so God can do. I am the Purpose Accelerator, here to push, provoke, and catapult you into your next level of divine greatness. Thank you and have an awesome Friday. Be safe this weekend. For those of you who are in the Be Accelerated into Purpose group with Keisha LaShawn, we will be having our Q&A session tomorrow, guessing probably 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So for those of you who are watching a replay, maybe via YouTube or something, if you want to be more involved with the Q&A sessions, then just join the group on Facebook. The link is in the description. So have an awesome weekend, y'all. Y'all be safe, stay safe, and remember to be a blessing to someone else. Thanks.